The most realistic but also concerning scenario is Iran decides not that it's going to rush to a bomb, but that it's going to start creeping up its nuclear program in ways that it had promised to either freeze or even walk back as a result of the deal, in which it has walked back. So they start enriching at higher levels. They start enriching more. They start testing advanced centrifuges. They do the kinds of things that were the source of preoccupation which led to the deal in the first place. Then what does President Trump do? Does he try to renegotiate with Iran? Iran will say, no, thank you, we had a deal. Does he take military action, as he's hinted, that he will not let Iran restart some of its nuclear programs? And of course, the cycle of war in Iran, with so much at stake, that's the disaster scenario that has to be avoided. In an asymmetric response to our walking away from the deal, Iran could decide, okay, we're not going to respond on the nuclear file, but look at what's going to happen in Syria, look what's going to happen in Iraq, look what's going to happen in the Gulf. And those steps could very quickly escalate into a military confrontation. So when you add up the nuclear deal, the lack of trust, the lack of diplomacy, the fact that US and Iranian armed forces are close to each other in several theaters, the odds of war simply go up, and for no good reason. There's going to be ripple effects to a decision by the Trump administration to walk away from a deal, some that we can't even predict, about how much people are going to trust the United States, what it's going to do to European and American cooperation in other theaters. So it's hard to see any silver lining to this. Clearly, it's not going to help transatlantic relations between Europe and the United States. But what happens in North Korea? I mean, you have on the verge of a very important meeting between President Trump and the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, about a nuclear deal. If you're sitting in Pyongyang and you see what just happened, and you see that President Trump has ripped up a deal that was just entered into by his predecessor, does this make them particularly willing to enter a deal? When they see that we're talking about regime change in Iran, does it convince Pyongyang we should hold on to our nuclear weapon as an insurance against regime change, or does it convince them to give it up? I think the answer is self-evident.